What's up, guys? Your boy, 20K13. Gonna talk about 10 wrestlers in Triple H new WWE Kliq, and this comes from WhatCulture.com. 20 years ago, Paul Levesque benefited from being welcomed into a clique of WWF wrestlers, bossed by main event stars Scott Hall, Kevin Nash, and Shawn Michaels. The clique helped to ensure Levesque's rise as Triple H would be a certain success. The backstage connection helped significantly in enabling Hunter to sit in on creative meetings with Vince McMahon and have a say on how business should be done. Unsurprisingly, part of the way the Kliq thought business should be done had each and every one of them in prominent positions. Now, at the end of his full-time active career, Triple H is WWE executive in charge of talent and live events. He made it his mission to bring through the next generation of top WWE stars in an attempt to remake the industry to his own ideal. He's now the leader of a new upstart Kliq. With himself in the Shawn Michaels leadership position, there are several guys in NXT who he's taken a shine toward, many of whom he personally headhunted for spots in the developmental system. These Triple H guys have welcomed the game as their new demigod, with some of the wrestlers already benefited in big ways from being in this new Kliq of power. Number 10. Neville. Although Neville likes to keep himself to himself and stay away from backstage politics, you can tell Triple H is very high on the guy. The level of protection that the Brit has enjoyed on the main roster is undoubtedly helped by Hunter having his back and going to bat for him, whether the humble high flyer wants to be or not. The game has him pegged as one of his cliques. He got several features that the Kliq leader look for in potential prodigy. One big plus is his body, which is ripped with muscle and is indicative that he spent a lot of time in the gym. That's something which Triple H values massively, as his own success is based on the physical and mental discipline that he learned in the weight room. Then there's the fact that Neville is insanely athletic and intelligent in his in-ring game. Triple H only likes to back winners, and Neville clearly got the ability of a proper wrestling worker. Number 9. Hideo Itami. Hideo Itami is a bit like Neville. He's not going to be a psychopath who stuck up to Triple H, but like Neville, he is very much earmarked as one of Hunter's guys. That has been evident on social media, with Triple H posted several photos with a Japanese star and even doing the old Kliq hand signal together. Hunter is desperate to make a big star out of an international signing. He originally signed Upton Carver amid a whirlwind of publicity in 2011, and was then left embarrassed when the Mexican turned out to be an inconsistent dud in a heavily invested push. Itami is Triple H's chance to show that he can scout the international stage. Although a year on from the signing, it is already looking like the Japanese star could have been better off staying in his homeland. Nevertheless, Triple H is sure to have Itami back when he returns from injury later in 2015. Both men badly want to make this WWE run work. Number 8. Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn is one of NXT's very best workers and has been presented as the biggest babyface on the brand. He's someone who Triple H has compared to Ricky Steamboat, which is very high praise indeed when you consider Steamboat's reputation as an all-time great. With Hunter as a fan, it shouldn't come as a surprise that Zayn had been booked as an NXT champion and Raw debuting against John Cena in the past year. If it wasn't for a shoulder injury, he may well have been a full-time Raw wrestler by now. Upon returning later in the year, he undoubtedly slid back in as one of the top NXT stars. Another person who has Zayn back is William Regal, who also happened to be Triple H's very good friend of over 20 years. Regal is basically an extension of Triple H, a trusted lieutenant in the field. He one of Zayn's biggest backers and is determined to see him succeed. With that sort of support, as one of Triple H's Kliq, Zayn is very well positioned for future success. Number 7. Dana Brooke. Dave Meltzer and the Wrestling Observer newsletter have reported that Triple H is very high on Dana Brooke. His reason for liking her so much is clear. She an absolute gym freak and active on the fitness bodybuilding scene. WWE even allowed her to continue in her fitness career, which is a very rare exception indeed. Triple H probably sees a little of himself in her aspiration. His obsession with the discipline of bodybuilding is well documented, and she a throwback to the world he came from. However, her wrestling skills are a questionable area. She only just breaking into the wrestling business and looks to be very basic as an in-ring worker. That's where being part of Hunter Kliq has paid off. She barely been with WWE for a cup of coffee, yet she already being pushed as one of NXT's top girls. Number 6. Finn Balor. Triple H and Finn Balor are an example of a mutual appreciation society, with both men having put each other over in interviews this past year. Balor is fully embracing having Hunter as a mentor, relishing the idea of being in the modern-day Kliq. The two men have been pictured during the Kliq hand gesture, and Hunter has tweeted various photos of Balor backstage in the past 6 months. They clearly spend some time together at taping. Furthermore, the Reddit user MaxFanForever, who is rumored to be a WWE employee, has said that Balor is getting preferential treatment at the Performance Center. Specifically, he's getting to avoid certain work drills because he and Triple H Kliq. Apparently, the game actually told NXT trainer to lay off Balor. MaxFanForever also said that Balor is known to throw hissy fits if he doesn't get his own way. That's something which was rumored on the indie scene too, with reports that he always viewed himself as a big shot compared to his peers. Number 5. John Cena. You'd be mistaken to think that Triple H Kliq is limited to just NXT upstart. He also firmly invested in establishing WWE superstar, particularly the franchise star John Cena. It was Hunter's wife Stephanie who first pushed hard for Cena's ride way back in 2003. Hunter then got on board with the project, helping Cena learn the rope and sharing the stage with him at WrestleMania 22. They now tight buddies, with a ton of respect for each other and a world of common interest. Cena had developed a fine mind for the business, having been influenced heavily by what Triple H had taught him about the industry. He now to Triple H what The Undertaker was to Vince McMahon, a leader in the locker room that is a bridge between talent and management. Number 4. Charlotte. One thing that Triple H determined about is developing the WWE Divas division into something far more legitimate. His vision is currently playing out on NXT, with the likes of Charlotte leading the way in athletic female performances. She's one of his very favorite performers, evident by the emotional photo that was posted after the very first NXT takeover, holding her face as she cried tears of joy. It was Hunter's decision to make her the NXT Women's Champion that night, proving that connection and Kliq matter. Triple H's friendship with Ric Flair is also a factor in Charlotte's rise to prominence. Becky Lynch may in fact be better than Charlotte, but Triple H isn't best buddies with her daddy. In fairness, Charlotte had backed herself up with stunning in-ring performances. That's the biggest reason her and Triple H have bonded, as he wants to be seen mentoring a diva who could well be the Ronda Rousey of WWE. Number 3. Sheamus. Sheamus had benefited from Triple H having his back for many years. The two first became buddies back in 2009 when the Irishman approached Hunter at the gym and asked to train with him. That impressed the veterans no end, and the two formed a firm appreciation for each other. Some might call it opportune psychohanity, but you can't really knock Sheamus for being a go-getter in this situation. Within his debut year, he ended up being a WWE champion and feuding with the biggest star in John Cena. Then at his very first WrestleMania, he got to actually wrestle Triple H. Would those opportunities have came up if he hadn't approached Hunter in the gym? Possibly not. The last few years have been more of a mixed bag for Sheamus. But his connection to Hunter has always ensured his top position. He's one of the best paid wrestlers with a sweet $1 million deal. Number 2, Kevin Owens. Out of all of the recent NXT workers, Kevin Owens has been the keenest to embrace Triple H grooming. And I quote, "I feel like I developed a bit of a relationship with Hunter throughout these last few months," Owens told TheWeird.com in a recent interview. "It goes beyond the ring. We'll talk about our kids. We talk about life. He's very good to me. You have him take time out of a very busy day. He busy on Raw, and he took the time to tell me to just make sure you are who you are." Triple H has echoed the same sentiment and has put the NXT star over repeatedly on Twitter. The relationship that Owens described has clearly paid off, as he was pushed hard as the biggest star on NXT from the day he first appeared on the show. He then been promoted quickly to Raw, where he was booked to beat John Cena clean in a shock match at Elimination Chamber. Is it just coincidence that Owens is in Triple H Kliq and has such a mega push? Or is it a case of being in there with the boss and getting all the best perks? The two men haven't hid their camaraderie and have posted several Kliq gesture photos on their respective social media accounts. And number 1, Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins is Triple H's biggest pet project in the last few years. It started as far back as July 2012 when Rollins won the first ever NXT title. Right there in the ring with him afterward was Triple H posing with his new developmental champion. That picture came full circle 3 years later at WrestleMania 31. Rollins won the WWE title that night and backstage waiting with Triple H. A photo of the pair embracing was posted to social media, which illustrated just how close the pair had become. The story behind the photo is that Triple H saw something in Rollins very early in his WWE career, while others in developmental like Terry Taylor were dismissive of the rookie. Triple H was personally sticking up for the stars. He delivered a pep talk to Rollins and spent time coaching him on how to make it in WWE. When Rollins then arrived on the main roster, Triple H ensured that he was booked strongly as part of the Shield. He even booked himself to work with his pet project as part of the Evolution vs. Shield feud. Storyline then mirrored reality when Rollins broke away as a single star in 2014 and became linked with Triple H on screen. It had been very much a master and apprentice narrative this past year, with Rollins even adopting Hunter pedigree moves. While some detractors would say that being in Triple H Kliq had helped to make Rollins, the truth is that Triple H only wants to back great wrestlers. Seth Rollins is a modern-day Kliq member because he's naturally one of the best pro wrestlers in the world. Successful people are attracted to other successful people. Well, that is, guys. Like, comment, subscribe. See you guys on the next one. Peace.